Hi and welcome to another animation tutorial video. We're back with this Yandere project, and I've been kind of messing with it. I added a couple new scenes, but I actually went back to the originals. I changed some of the character models, put the Yandere simulator sailor uniform in here. Just because I didn't like some of the characters, but this video is just going to basically be on setting up some lighting tutorials, I guess. Just how to create a specific look. So, this is the old scene that I replaced the character models. And so now I'm just going to work on some of the lighting. So, I'll try to put some links to some of these effects if I can find them. Basically, right now I have on this SSAO light, this HD SAO, which I had to go searching around for. But that is basically an ambient occlusion for the character models, mostly. It just gives you this little definition around areas. Like if I turn it off, well, that's still the SSAO, which is ambient occlusion too, gives a lot. So when I turn it off, it looks pretty flat. I turn it on, as you can see, there's a little bit more definition. So in addition to that, I have this auto luminous, which I have to go into this Rico effect and open this up. Right-click, set subtract, which gets into all the different model parts, meshes, whatever. So from here, you have the main, and then this AL emitter, that is your auto luminous. These normal maps, I think, are for the SSAO, and this HDSAO is self-explanatory. It's for the HDSAO. Because every time you load in an accessory through the accessory manipulation panel, you'll get it up here. And from here you can kind of tweak, like, if I wanted, for example, if I wanted to go into this normal map and whatnot, and I only wanted the normal maps for the ambient occlusion on certain things, I can right-click and remove effect, but that has different effects on different effects with different effects. So right now, what I want to do is open this school and find the windows, which I already know is 17, and hit remove effect, and that's how you turn on the auto luminous. So I'm going to hit apply, and that'll be that. So some other effects that I'm going to add to this, which is basically a lot, is a different tune shader. Alright, so basically you can put a tune shader on just about any type of model, either the .x models or PMD and PMX models. So I'm just going to go to set effect. And the name of this shader is G-Tune Shader. It's on Bull Roll. And it's got a couple different shades. This, if I go to the main folder here, we have neutral sun, sunset, purple, red, blue moon for like night, snow, deep blue is another like midnight. They're just different shading colors. So this sunset red makes it look like a sunset, so I'm going to open that folder. In each folder there's like different levels of how dark you want it and how defined you want it. So this will be sunset red, but whatever, 1S1 is the lightest. These F and S's, I think F is like face. It just gives you kind of like more highlights. Kind of like if you're drawing in 2D, it would be a shadow layer and then a highlight layer. So this would be the shadow layer. This would be a shadow layer and a highlight layer. This is a shadow, This S and F is just a little bit stronger shadow and highlight. So I usually use the SF things. They look pretty good. at least with these models, but you can just experiment just by loading in and seeing how it works. So I'm just going to pick this darkest one, which is what I've been using, and open that. And you can see right off the bat, it totally changed the look of the background to a different color. So I do have the light manipulation on, and I've already changed it to like a kind of orange color. So, plus, you know, adding this other layer of effect on top of it, that adds that orange too, but to blend it all together, let's go to, just gonna minimize that, and go to our character here, and load in the same effect on that character. Let's see what it does. Let me go back to this thing, as well as the other character too. Oops, in the wrong folder. Toon Shader. Load this in. Alright, so all our effects are basically loaded in. I have to reload this, we'll reopen MMD because as you can see this black here is not supposed to be like that. It's a little bit messed up. I'm just opening this up to turn on the window effect again. Alright, so just turn on track, make sure we're in the right thing. So basically, as you can see, I've loaded this in, and it's got this orangish layer. So right now it doesn't look too good, since it's really dark. But what I can do is just mess with the shadows until I get something like this. I'm just moving the shadows around with these sliders. And I'll hit register. And I have to find where my camera switches are, so there's one. I'm just copy and paste it. And just by moving these shadows around, you can fix that, how it looks. So let's see, let me turn off the physics so it's a little bit better. So, and then I'm just basically going in here, making sure that this doesn't happen, because I have some old nodes in here. So I'm just going to copy these. And let's see. Yeah, this is how it used to be, so. And maybe I want to change this a little bit to have some more definition there while the character walks in. Alright, so there you go. That scene is good, so usually I just copy the nodes for the, anytime you are going to change the camera angle or the scene shot or whatever, it's helpful to also make sure you change any light manipulations to make sure that, the light is in the right place, because sometimes you'll have, like it used to be, this was all orange and dark, so you want to make sure that the light is in the right place. As you can see, it changes too, because those are the old light nodes that I'm changing. And let's see here. Might have to change this, I'm not sure. Yeah, it looks kind of good. Alright, so the last effect I'm going to load on here is this effect here, which is crocus. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's a French word, but it's basically like an ink drawing. If I can find where I put it. There. I called it ink sketch because I kept forgetting what it was. But if you download it, it'll be in a folder called Crocus and Crocus Light. So I usually use Crocus Light. And so once I load that in, as you can see, it turned everything to like this sketching type of thing. So to get it back to looking more like it was, you have to mess with the transparency. So if you up it really high, it doesn't really go beyond 1. But if you go down to like, what I was using was 0.04, I believe. It's very faint, but if I click it off, you might be able to see that there's some more definition like this right here, which is part of the wall. It just gives you more of an outline of the characters and, well, all the line art, whatever. So I'm going to load that in. Then there is another effect, which, here it is, this Crocus FC2. In searching around for just some tutorials myself on how to make things look more 2D-ish or more drawn, some effects for that, I found a Japanese blog on FC2 that had a bunch of effects, that's what this is all from. And so he's got this effect, where is it, if I can find it? I believe it was this Crocus, and that EN is whatever. But basically, I'll load that in. All that does is kind of break up very subtly. You're not going to really notice it. Maybe around here. Like you can see this line right here is darker than this. It just breaks up the Crocus so that, like here, maybe you can see that. Like there's a faint line, then there's a thicker line, and then there's a thinner line, and then a thicker line. It just breaks up the line art of the original ink effect of Crocus to look more drawn. That's all that does. Now, last two effects are diffusion effects. Now I could do these in what is it? After Effects looks, but it kind of looks fine to me like this. So I have a diffusion. There's a couple actually diffusion effects, because basically what happens when MMD updates, some of these effects don't work. I'm using version 9.26, I think. Or maybe I opened this in 8.3. I've got a couple different versions of this. So I just usually use these diffusion. There is a difference between diffusion 6 and 7. I think 7 is a little bit lighter than 6. So when you use them together, you get a different effect. Rather than, like, say, if you loaded in 7 twice, or up the strength of 7 by itself. So that's just something I found out. And so when you put all these things together, the SSAO, the ambient occlusion, gives you this subtle shadow here. You know, the ink sketch Crocus gives you just the definition around the character and the walls and stuff. Of course, that other Crocus EN thing gives you all these little detail lines and stuff like that. Autoluminous gives you the windows here. Of course, G Toon Shader gives you the orange color and the nice sort of tune shading. Is that all? HDSAO was the last one, but that just gives you, like, if you see, it's like brighter here on her cheek, and then like darker up here. It's a really subtle shadow that just gives more definition to the character. and more highlight and whatnot. But yeah, so those are basically the effects that I'm using. I had to go back over this to the old things and change some of the characters. I just didn't like how things were working. I don't know how this animation will turn out in actuality. I think the script is okay. It's just that I don't know if it'll be really good or not because it's basically the first time trying to do anything that's, I guess, it's not really sort of horror. It's not a comedy thing. So it's just a little different than usual.